Okay, everyone, we're talking about a 2-lane, 25-meter ice pool cut into a lake. Okay, so we're very rare in doing this. People that ice swim a lot of times in near lakes are doing it still in pool atmosphere in an open water essence. We are actually cutting this into the lake. So I have several ideas that I've been formulating over the past 4 months roughly. And what I have come down to after a few test cuts and ideas with talking with many people is this, and keep in mind I maintain an ice hole, a dip hole at Lake Johanna in Ardent Hills where we're doing this swim for 5 years. Right now it's an 8x12 with a perimeter fence. So there are some tricks to maintaining an ice hole. I know how to keep it so that water doesn't saturate the pool, the ice deck, the whole, the deck around it. So I'm thinking about some ideas to incorporate so when people swim, it doesn't splash water and have a wet pool deck. But let me just get into this. I don't have any otherwise prepared notes, so I'm going off the cuff. I may forget some things, but you'll get the gist of the idea. And this is for the people who are actually helping cut the hole on Thursday in a couple days here. So we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm gonna lay it out to the guys. There'll probably be 8 of us, and when we get there on Thursday, hopefully there'll be many more volunteers there just to be around when we're doing this and setting up tents and things. So let's get at this a little bit. So I had a little flash of the obvious about the pool decking. So if we have a ledge, whether it be sheets of ice that we're cutting 1.5 inches thick, this could be 5 feet wide. It could just be a little ledge, but we want something protruding up along the ice pool ledge to keep water from spilling out. So I think a 2-inch ledge is justified there, knowing that it's a little bit higher of distance to get out, but we're in 3.5 feet of water. So I would like to experiment with this. We're going to experiment with several different cutting methods during this initial cut. So for example, and this might change because everything does right now, it's all brand new and we're all pioneers in this. If we cut a 5 foot by whatever length here, call it 4 feet, and we had this at 2 inches, that means when we cut a block out that's 24 inches, if we're not counting the width of the saw blade, we can make 12 sheets like this, okay? We would have somebody else on the side cutting those, and then you would lay them here like you're laying tile, but they would be ice. And then we would take our artificial turf that happens to be 5 foot west and just cover that. So it would be kind of like a little mini elevated platform. I definitely am going to be doing something to keep water from splashing around the deck. The artificial turf itself will provide some relief immediately. But what I do with the ice hole is around the structure of the ice hole, pretend this is an 8x12 ice hole. When it snows, I don't remove the snow out. I repack and build this up with snow. So I will pack 2 inches here, mat it down, and then when you go to our ice hole, the water stays in the hole. There's like a 3-inch recess. It's beautiful. So that's an idea that I'll bring up to a couple of the guys. Our pool will be independent of our access points. So our pool will be here. This will be a 3x3 cutout where our ladder will be. So when you come in, our lane will not be obstructed. Those will be separate cutouts on all 4 corners with ladders and mats. The entirety of the perimeter of the pool will be artificial turfed. There will be a larger section on the lake side. Okay, beach is over here, lake is down here. I know I have this zoomed in here on purpose. I'm not touching my camera. If I'd hold it, it'd shake or whatever. It's late. I'm tired. So this we're talking probably 15 feet wide right here, 5 feet wide here, artificial turf wrapped around. This will get people by the announcing station, 10 by 10, like where they'll announce the swimmers, on a microphone. Um, there will be warming tents here. So out of the pool, through the warming tents, and then we'll have a permanent fish house here. It'll be kind of like our on ice station, generator, that kind of thing. We'll have some amenities around this pool, but this is the gist of it. We're cutting this hole. If we don't cut the hole, nobody swims. So there's a lot of pressure on this. Now keep in mind, I'll repeat again, I've been in the landscape industry for 35 years. So I have people with equipment where we just basically turn this into a landscape excavation project, okay? So these guys will have no problem doing this as long as we have working equipment, okay? So what else do we have here? These are gonna be the bulkheads that are being constructed out of wood that will be a fixture where people push off of. 4 of them, boom, 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 boom. So if you have a 25, you will start here, finish, get out. I don't have the exits labeled here, but there will be some here and here as well, just like these. This is a new addition right here. This will be 4x4 posts, and we will have backstroke flags, boom, boom, because we're doing an IM. And now we will allow backstroke. So my only concern was people hitting their heads. So when they backstroke, there will be a person here waiting. So when they come and touch, they're not going to hit their head. And we've all swam in pools. You bumped your head on the end of the pool. That's concrete. This is wood. But again, safety's number one. For sure, there'll be many people around the pool. 3x3 square, got that. The pool, we'll have a lane divider. This will be pool noodles screwed to the edge to provide some relief if you happen to bang your arm on that. And also it's an aesthetic value. We'll have red, white, and blue ones because we have Cody Miller coming here. And we're gonna be sanctioned in the future with IISA as the United States hub for that. So we wanna be representing red, white, and blue. So those will likely become our colors. So that is the gist of that. I think that's kind of what it's going to look like when it's more set up. Let's go over to here for a second. This is where we get a little more granular now, okay? So we're going to be anywhere between 12 and 16 feet of width. We can do a pool in 12 feet. I want to have it a little more grander, so I'm thinking more on the 15, 16 foot side. So with this, I have respectively done in 5 foot increments, 5, 10, 15, and then each of these pieces here, that is 4 feet to make 85. Okay, so we're gonna essentially do 22, 21, whatever, pieces that are 4 feet wide and 15 feet long. But we're not going to take a 15-foot piece out of the ice at once. So as you can see on the bottom here, I have calculations. Okay, so we do this and when I calculate stuff for volume, right? We're talking cubic. Length times width times height. 57 pounds per cubic foot is ice. That's nothing like compared to basalt. Basalt rock is like 240 per cubic foot. Anyways, 4 foot by 5 foot block by 2. You're gonna see 2 everywhere because 2 is the thickness. We're gonna be at 24 inches of ice that can support more than 25 tons of pressure. Okay, so our mini backhoe weighs 12,000 pounds. 6 tons, we could stack 4 of those on top of one another and still not break through the ice. We have a lifting capacity of somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 with the grapple. So I have an operator, Jose Ortiz, one of my subs, landscape-wise, who will be living inside of this excavator until it's done. So I have some increments for him. We're gonna test cut different increments on purpose. So that's why I have this gridded out. So you can see, here's a 4x5 chunk. Here's a 4x8 chunk. Now we're also gonna see what it looks like when we go 2 foot wide. If we're doing 2 foot wide, we're definitely cutting 8 Now, part of this can be for what we want to do with the ice in the future. We might have an intended use where somebody's building something where they need specific dimensions on ice blocks, like that stuff over here, like this stuff. What if we want 1.5 inches by 4 by 5? Again, we can do the math on there. 4 by 5 by 2 is 2,280 pounds. We half that, 1,200, 600. A 6-inch piece would weigh about 600 pounds. And inch 1-inch piece, 300 pounds. So we can move that with some machinery. We have no problem. A smaller machine. I want to see what Jose can do with a 4 by 8 by 2 chunk. So he can grapple that. That will weigh 3,650 pounds roughly, upwards of 4. That would be, I think, like more of the tipping weight for this thing. But I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what that would look like. Now keep in mind, even 12,000 plus 4, you're still only at 16,000 pounds. We can put 50,000 pounds on a concentrated area. So, well, I think we're going to be in this category somewhere. 4 foot. 4 foot is very easy to work number-wise. When I think they're building ice castles, they're cutting 2 by 3s. But again, we have very adequate machinery. We'll also have a 257D track Bobcat and an MT100 mini skid. So the track machine, the 257 can lift this right here easily. So that Bobcat can lift that. We have a mini skid that can't lift anything right here, but it could lift a 4 by 2 by 2. It could lift a 4 by 4 by 2, a small machine. So anyways, we're getting real granular here, but we're going to use this and create mixes of whatever we want. So when we get the edge cut here all the way through and all the way through here, we might even have the backhoe experiment with taking the grapple and just ramming down and seeing if it can break ice. We're going to be watching this very gingerly, not taking any stupid risks. If something happens with our mini excavator, that 257D with the mini can get that thing out of the ice on site. We won't need to call in rescue. We can do that on our own. Obviously, safety first. All these guys will have hard hats on. Anybody around the pool during this, we ain't letting anybody around this excavator. It's going to be authorized by 1 or 2 people. So I have separate insurances with my companies, with employees. So I don't have like some, Joe Schmo that wants to come be by the excavator. He's not an employee. He's not covered under insurances. There's certain waivers, and I'm covered for setup and teardown, but it'll be very, very specific on who comes around during the cutoff around this hole. There's going to be 6 people at the top level watching and seeing who is here and around. We definitely want help, but they'll be vetting before anybody comes near this hole as it's being cut. So you see all the dimensions there. What else am I missing here? We're going to probably start on one end. We'll probably start on the closest end to the dip hole. The dip hole's over there. And maybe I could do just a little bit more here. Just say like, if the ice hole is gonna be like, the pool is gonna be like this. Beach is here, pavilion is here. The dip hole is like right here. Artificial turf coming out. All of this should be artificial turfed in here. Swimmer's tent. Swimmer's tent. Pool. Dip hole. Warming tents. Permanent fish house. MC on ice. So we'll cut the ice here, and then I have this huge open space over here where we will cart the ice over and do a maze or whatever. So that is going to be over there. That's going to be the location of where the ice is going to reside, because after this event, they don't want to have a whole bunch of ice, you know, being obstructive and potentially hazardous. It's not really going to be, but this is new for all the county guys too. So we're just trying to agree upon some things and be as safe as possible. So after this event, even if we're cutting 4-foot blocks of ice, anything that we're done with won't stand higher than 4 feet stably. Nothing that can teeter. If it is, it's going to be demolished by our machinery on Sunday. And that's that. So when you see ice carvings after they're done with the carnival, they demolish those. Unfortunately, it happens, but it's for safety reasons. So we can see the mess I got up there. Yeah, all the ice is over here. The public access is further that way. If we need to, we're probably going to be onboarding machinery from the beach, either through the parking lot here or over here. We will do that because I have authorizations with the county. Otherwise, there will be no vehicle traffic, you know, in this area, only us when we need it, according to like my okay. So Mike Miller will also be a leading head there. My brother Anthony Tamble will also be there as my right-hand person on the ice, along with Jose Ortiz, who's going to be fully in the excavator. I have a couple other LLG guys. Dan White will be there. Chris Kearns will be there. I have access to another couple guys that will drive and help out with transporting materials to and from our holding space at a shop that I have at my brother's house. Jose will have a couple guys with him. So those will be all contractors, you know, insured through businesses. So we might have somebody, like one person assisting each one of those guys, like moving blocks of ice in the pool. You know, we're gonna have push pulls that will have one place where we're gonna take ice out. We're not gonna go down and take ice all the way. We'll move the ice to one location and extract it. I've been watching old videos from like the 1950s when these guys do this stuff or did this stuff. I even have actually some of the original tools. So it's gonna be epic. What's happening on Thursday in a lot of regards is gonna be more exciting than the swim. So if you're around, I don't know, I'll post this up. It's 17 minutes long. We'll see who actually gets this far in the video. But if you want to see something wild and crazy happen, you come Thursday and watch us rip that hole out.